borders control expert Henry Bolton. Afternoon to you, Henry. Is this surprising to you that Vietnamese appear to be, against what many people thought, but appear to be a disproportionate number making up those crossing the channel?
It doesn't, Ian. The situation is firstly that organised criminality will always find people to smuggle, and that is one of the reasons why the Rwanda bill will not, and the Rwanda plan will not have an effect. It's because it's the people smugglers that we need to deter, rather than the people to whom they are marketing. We need to take the risk to the criminals who are marketing the opportunity and the method of getting to Europe and the UK. They're the people we need to deter. We're not deterring them. We're not carrying the risk to them. Now, in terms of the Vietnamese, actually, there is nothing new about Vietnamese coming to Europe and the UK, although, as you said in your lead-up, it's sort of counterintuitive because it's the other side of the world, which also adds credibility to the argument of people like me who say people or coming across the channel are not fleeing from war and persecution. They are coming here for economic purposes, or that's what they believe. That is what they are touted by the people smugglers. There are two routes for Vietnamese. Before the war in Ukraine, it was primarily through China and the Russian Federation, and then into Europe from there. But a long-standing route has been flying into Belgrade in Serbia, where there is a visa agreement, so they don't need a visa to get into Belgrade. And there's mutual recognition in that respect between Serbia and Vietnam. And then they are smuggled across the Serbian-Romanian border into the European Union, and they travel through there. So it's actually, in some respects, a lot easier for a Vietnamese person to come to Europe than it is, for example, for an Eritrean or a Somali or somebody like that.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Henry, but wasn't it the Serbian route that the Iranians were exploiting not so many years ago? Exactly the same agreement that was there between the two countries.
Indeed. You know, the Balkans has always been a doorway to people coming in, whether it's been from Afghanistan, Syria, Central Asia, you name it. The Balkans has always been a gateway into Europe for the last 25 years or so, ever since really the Balkan Wars. Now, I don't know, because I've not had the chance to interview these people, but either they've come in through the Russian Federation, which is difficult now because there's a bloody great war in the way, and that creates chaos and there's no rule of law. But at the same time, it's very difficult to continue smuggling operations in that area. Or they're coming through Serbia. Now, the thing about this is that there's this rapid influx. Serbia has been saber-rattling with Kosovo. Now, that's a different issue. However, it's widely believed that Serbia is doing that as a sort of a distraction, if you like, for NATO in relation to the war in Ukraine, because Serbia is very close to the Kremlin. Belgrade is close to Russia. They work together. They've got a lot of military connections and a lot of security connections, as well as sort of historical. So, question, and I can't give you the answer to this, Ian, at the moment, but is this influx that we're seeing now the result of Belgrade, if you like, making things easier for the people smugglers who are moving Vietnamese, because they want to put pressure on the European Union and the Europeans, including us, at the behest of Moscow?
Yeah.
That's how complicated things get. And that's another reason why the government's plans are not going to work, because they are not carrying the risk to the people who are actually making money out of this all the way through.
Indeed. And just a very final point, Henry, we'll have to be brief, but you don't have to worry about any of this anymore. In fact, you and I won't be talking for the rest of time, because the Rwanda bill comes into action. Rishi Sunak has solved the problem. Tens of thousands of people on the tarmac by about July. Problem gone away. What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, he's shifting the goalposts, Ian. We mustn't let him do that. Success is stopping the boats. Success is not a flight to Rwanda. And particularly seeing as now that they're giving £3,000 to anybody who volunteers to go to Rwanda. It's part of a wider scheme, but they've introduced the Rwandan element to it as well now. No, success has got to be about stopping the boats coming across the channel. We cannot allow the Prime Minister, the government, the Home Secretary, or anybody else to present and get away with presenting the idea that flights to anywhere are the solution. They are not. The solution is to stop the boats.
There it is. Henry, thank you. Thorough stuff from Henry Bolton with us here on Talk TV.